What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube. And I'm back with another review. Today I will be reviewing Ready to Love. This is season 5, episode 8, and episode is called Meet the Homie. And before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do detailed reviews of reality shows. I do a very detailed review, but I may not hit every scene, but may also pick out details that you may not have saw yourself. And as the number one commenter, I just simply ask that you get down and get down in those comments. I don't ask for the likes, I don't ask for the subscriptions, but what I need is your comments, because to me that's the best part of a channel. This is what I do this for, because when you get down in those comments, we have so much fun. We get to learning, we get to debating. And the only thing I ask is that we respect each other. That's pretty much about it, because the motto of this channel is say what you say. And I mean, say anything you feel like. If you want to say Auntie the Kids 39 plus 10, that's wonderful. You want to talk about Clifton as Paul Bunyan, however you want to do it. Anything. Just get down in the comments and do so. And before I get started, I just want to thank everyone who checked out my very first live. It's out. I did it on I think Thursday evening, and when I say I had so much fun and the support was overwhelming, even though I've been getting some messages saying like the live didn't really get out there as it should, or a lot of people missed it. I did try to promote it as quickly as I could in a short time, but for the people who did show up, I mean, we just had a blast. We had a ball, and I got over, I guess, my first nervousness of having a live, because again, I thought I would have technical difficulties, but it went very smooth. And as I said, we had so much fun. It was so much support. My goal is to try to put one out at least once a week if we can get that going, because I mean, like I said, we had a ball. Had a ball. I want to do a live every time almost, but I know that's not realistic. But let's go ahead and get started with the episode. So it starts out at the men's lounge, and they pretty much getting this assignment from Tommy. But before Tommy walks in, they show an exclusive clip of P.O. He's saying, well, I must be doing something right because I'm still here. And then, I mean, and that's a statement. All year I've been saying, like, how is P.O. still here? Why is P.O. still here? They haven't voted him off yet. And everybody know I've been hard and tough on P.O., but what he's saying is absolutely correct. But before I go any further, give you a real life, thing going on, I actually went to, that was last night, I went to the Bill Bellamy show at the MGM Casino near the National Harbor. That's where that's near where they filmed the season finale of last year, like where the couples were meeting up in the sand, faking y'all out like they was at the beach, but they was really in National Harbor, Maryland. That's the place they made up. And also where Candace, the Real Housewives of Potomac, used to live in National Harbor, but in that area. But anyway, I went to the Bill Bellamy comedy show, and guess who I see? Guess who I pull up on? None other than P.O. P.O. was there. He was surprised to see me. I had my mask on, because if I'm out, even with all the people, I still gotta, feel like I gotta protect myself. I pull my mask down. He was like, "Hey, it's J Dub." and we look at each other, laughing. He stood up. He was, sitting with his friend or whatever, or his date, and he got up, gave me a pound, and said, "Yeah, you be talking that shit." And we both started laughing. But I mean, P.O. was real cool, because I definitely give P.O. a hard time, and I do talk a lot of trash about him. That's what I do. But it was all love when we met. So it was like good to see him out. And in real life, he don't look that old. Not because I met him, but I be giving him a hard time. I used to be saying P.O. like 58 or something like that. But nah, he don't look as old in person. And he's actually, well, I guess on the screen he come off taller. He's actually taller than me. I'm 6'2", P.O. about 6'4". And it was just good to see him, and it was good to see that he wasn't like in a negative spirit, because I don't know if somebody talk about me like that, I wouldn't be so cordial to them. But I guess you gotta have a mindset once you open yourself up to, being in the limelight. People are gonna have their criticism about you. And you better have some tough skin. So, all right, let's try to continue. So, Tommy comes in, and Tommy always got to give a speech or say something real dramatic, and he tell the fellas at the table, he said, "I want you to introduce the ladies to the keeper of your secrets and the one who knows where the bones are buried, your best friend and your ride or die." Tommy just can't say stuff like introduce the ladies to your friends, find out what they think about to give you insight to make sure you're making the best choice. He could have just said that, but Tommy got to take it there. And it was funny. We just talking about P.O. Tommy had called P.O. out about his shirt, talking about, man, that junk wrinkled all under there and everything like that. And I thought it was kind of funny, but I just wondered why he do that. But I wish Tommy would call Clifton out for wearing like undershirts everywhere he go. Like Clifton's budget is low on his clothes or whatever. Like you can see now, everybody got different choices or what do you call it, preferences of clothing. But it looks like Clifton wears T-shirts that you're supposed to wear around the house out on camera. I don't think it's acceptable. I mean, let me use that strong word. That's just my opinion because it's my channel. I'm gonna give my opinion. So we see the first date. P.O. He's meeting his friend Chill Bill, and they're at Tori Joe's Seafood. Tori Joe's is a very like an upscale seafood place. It's really like at the bottom of Georgetown, where I tell y'all that's a historic shopping district. Ever since I've been alive, it's been like that. Places to eat, places to shop, and it's close to Georgetown University. Very upscale, very expensive to live, and a lot of people go there. It's very crowded, pretty much 7 days a week, and they out on the water. So I said Chill Bill, P.O. and his friend Chill Bill, they're waiting for two ladies. P.O.'s invited. He's invited Carmen, and he actually invited Tina, but Tina is Tina. She's already ghosting P.O. because that's the ways. You got to really listen. I know that her ex was her high school sweetheart, but you gotta pay attention to the red flag. So she hasn't changed her ways. P.O. saying she was supposed to be interested in it, but she's reaching out. So he needs a substitute. So who does he get? Auntie Daki is taking her place. And Auntie Daki is just doing her auntie thing. She's just being old and young at the same time. As I told you, I see like most of this cast in that way, where maybe it's a little shaky on the ages, and they look young, they look nice, but they look old too. So she's definitely the poster child of old and young, not old and young thing. And then we get Carmen. She coming out. She looking like Meg Thee Stallion, young aunt, trying to show up the kid. I don't know. Her and the kid have something. I don't know if it's about an Eric thing or they just get catty with each other. But I really can't put the kid in it. It's more of Carmen. That energy is like she doesn't like the kid. So they sitting down talking with the fellas, P.O. and Chill Bill, for a few minutes. But they started a trend which kind of followed throughout all the dates. I don't know if they were rushing to get the scenes done, but they maybe say one or two sentences and then they just like get up. So you really didn't get a feel for like any of the dates, but I guess we have to go off the information they gave us. And as far as like either one of the ladies feeling P.O., I just don't see it. Chill Bill, his friend, was pretty much saying both of the ladies, Auntie the Kid is nice and Auntie Carmen is nice too, but Carmen is she's more fitting of POJ. So we find out Paul has a additional letter on his nickname. He said it come from a rap group or something. The J stand for Gigolo, but he thought Gigolo was spelled with a J instead of a G. So that's about all we got out of Paul. And Auntie the Kid is more fitting of Paul. So it's pretty much up to him to make the decision who he wants to decide like will fit best in his life. So we go to the next date. We got Tori. Tori, he's meeting with his ride or die Ash. some country bumpkin. Seemed like he wanted to get his own show. He seemed like too extra. It was more so he wasn't talking. It was like he was acting. And they're meeting at Quattro. Quattro is a restaurant right where we see like all the other, because I gotta, well, people say, on my channel that they enjoy me pointing things out because of like taking you a tour of the city. But Quattro is on Florida Avenue, which runs directly into U Street. It changes over once you cross over Georgia Avenue. And Georgia Avenue is the intersection where Howard University is and Howard University Hospital. So U Street in Florida is the same street. It's just an extension. It depends how far it goes down. So they're on Florida Avenue and they're at Quattro. It's like a side restaurant, because if you look, it looks like row houses, because that's actually what it is. They're making row houses restaurants. Why? Because of so many places around DC, especially downtown, the restaurants are always crowded. And more so, people want to eat in their neighborhoods. So they want to be able to walk. That's like one of the benefits of DC. You can pretty much walk everywhere. There's grocery stores and places to eat, and you're able to get on the train or the bus. You really don't need a car if you so choose not to have one. So that's the kind of way that's the kind of way of extending the city, because everybody can't live downtown. Everybody can't live in the famous Capitol Hill. So they extend areas out to duplicate those areas as much as possible. People can just do everything in their in the surrounding area without having to travel. So yeah, they own this little Italian restaurant called Quattro, and Tori, he's supposed to meet Sabrina and Ace. Sabrina shows up and she actually brings Tori a gift. Like, that was surprising to him, and it kind of threw him off. He was just saying like, her bringing a gift, it gives off mixed signals, because 1 minute it seems like she's not feeling him so much, but if she's bringing a gift, obviously she's intentional. The men's favorite word about seeing what he's about. And it really got kind of strange, because the date was going normal. Sabrina was like being herself. She's personable and she seems to get along with everyone, even if she's not feeling you so much. But now Tori seems worried that Ace isn't showing up. So he actually, like, in the middle of the date, picks the phone up and calls Ace. And Sabrina was feeling some kind of way, and she said that in her confession. And I kind of get that, because if Sabrina's there showing you attention, brought you a gift, took her time out, why are you focusing on someone else? Now, yeah, granted, you could have called Ace after the date was over if you were concerned, but Ace was all right, or where she's at. Obviously, she decided not to show. And I really believe that Sabrina saw that Tori wasn't really interested or focusing on her. And I can see how she felt that way. But Tori, he hadn't been right since he seen Sabrina nibble on Demetrius' ear. And he can't seem to get over that. But not that he really had a chance with Sabrina at this point, because Tori knows and we know Sabrina's just like really keeping him in her back pocket so she can make it to the end. So that's pretty much where the date ends. And Tori's friend Ash, he was pretty much saying like, yeah, Sabrina's like really cool, really nice lady and all of that. But it seemed like Tori only could focus that Ace wasn't there. So Ace stood him up, just in pretty much. So Sabrina, she's going on her date. Now on her date, she's going to meet Demetrius with his ride or die friend. And the conversation, it came off like more so like an interview. I guess they're one and the same. Demetrius' friend. It wasn't just talking or asking questions. Just like seemed like she was an interview. But Sabrina, she can do well in any room. It's not a problem. But what I did notice, when I listen to Sabrina when she talks or tells her history, I get confused about like where she's at in the dating situation. Like 1 minute she's married for 7 years, 1 minute she's married for 10 years. She's been single for a year and a half, or she's just got out of divorce 5 months ago. I really don't know. It's really something there because I get the feeling that she isn't ready to love. Like it's too new for her, especially being in a long term marriage. Like, we don't know the details, but it more seems like Sabrina is being more strategic in like playing the game. So we'll see how that go, and it's just like we get one or two sentences, we moving on to the next day. So let's move on to the next day. We got Clifton. Um, yeah, Clifton. You see Clifton. He meets up with his friend there. He's got on one of his t-shirts or whatever, his undershirts, like you would show up like you getting picking up an Amazon package at the door, and he's out with his friend meeting Auntie the Kid and Joy, and they're at Bar Charlie. Now I've heard great things about Bar Charlie, and I see it often, but I've never have gotten a chance to go there. It's on the same. It's pretty much at the cross street of U Street. What I was telling y'all, Florida Avenue. If you come on down the street, make a left on 18th Street. That's where Bar Charlie is. But why I said I never got to experience Bar Charlie is because it's directly across the street from my favorite restaurant. If you ever get a chance to go to DC and you are into Mexican food, go to Lori El Plaza. Um, and I'm telling you, that food is stupendous. Forget Uncle Julio's stuff. You want authentic Mexican food, like pretty much everything I eat there is delicious. And even though I kind of only get a few certain things because I've almost, what I call it, perfected my menu. L'Oreal Plaza is the place for you if you love Mexican food. So yeah, I've heard good things about Bar Charlie, but L'Oreal Plaza, I can never make it. If I'm on 18th Street, I got to have L'Oreal Plaza. They got the great food, and they got the famous swirl with the frozen margarita drinks. And you sit down and get a picture of a picture of that. Ooh, you have a good time. So okay, they at Bar Charlie and they not at L'Oreal Plaza. I would have said, I want my date to be at L'Oreal Plaza, and we see how Clifton, he always mentions, he didn't do it this time, but I've heard him say it more than once, that how professional or uptight Auntie the Kid is. And, even though Auntie the Kid is the auntie, she's a good looking auntie, but I don't see that in her. To me, Auntie the Kid is very personable. She's outgoing. She's easy to talk to. She has personality, but I never see that when they put that vibe. Auntie the Kid, yeah, she's gonna give you the young old vibe, but she has great personality. But Joy's always gonna give you like that that laugh. Joy's always laughing. Like, I like people who have fun. I like people to be happy, but the laugh just seems like, I don't know, a cover. Like, I don't know, like when you saying or something, just a feeling. It just doesn't seem genuine. But I like Joy though. Joy's probably, I guess, my favorite cast member on here. But that laugh, it gets kind of irritating because I can't unsee it after the YouTuber Twisted Life of TV pointed it out. Poetry. She When she said that, don't Joy laugh all the time? And then I noticed, I'm like, yeah, every time she talk, everything is funny, and everything ain't funny. But anyway, they just sit down talking. They doing the same thing. You get one or two lines, and all of a sudden, hey, Joy got to roll out after she kind of see Auntie Dakia feed Clifton an olive, and she's trying to stay secure. Like, yeah, I got this. That's a big man, and he needs to be fed, and you go ahead and do your thing or whatever. She's saying that in her confessional, but you can tell like she feels some kind of way. So Joy leaves, and she's gone. So then Clifton and Auntie the Kid get right to their sexual innuendos, because they was talking about the cup that they had looked like a vag, and Clifton wanted to eat it or drink from it or whatever. And Auntie Kid, let me know you want to do it. And Clifton's friend was like, whoa, should I turn my head or something like that? Because they always have to get some kind of sexual thing going. And pretty much that was it. It was time for Auntie the Kid to go. And, Clifton got to give her a bear hug and wrap arms around her waist. And I know people will say, well, Eric touched her and all that. The difference is Clifton was touching her, let's say what we can call an appropriate place, and she wants to be touched by Clifton. Because I know that comes up. But we're going to put that behind us. We want to talk about Eric anymore. So when both of the ladies leave, uh, Clifton's friend pretty much said that they're both nice ladies, but if we're going to pick one for you, he's going to say Joy. Joy is a better fit. And I would agree because both him and Joy dress terribly. Doesn't have anything to do with them being good people, but yeah, you get the vibe is strong. It's more so like Clifton wants to have fun with Auntie the Kill. He enjoys the sexual tension with them, but as far as something serious, probably not. So the next date, we got Donovan. He's invited out Tina and Sabrina to meet his ride or die. And who was his ride or die? None other than move me 5 feet without my permission, Phil. So I thought I'd never see Phil again, but he's here. Um, he's talking to the ladies, and it was funny how Donovan introduced Sabrina to Phil like she didn't know who he was. And he's like, yeah, this is my friend. He was actually on last season or whatever. Like, nobody signs up for a show that they haven't seen anything on or watched. So I don't believe that. Tina, she wasn't faking like she didn't know who Phil was. Everybody knew who Phil was because we watched last season. But Tina overall just seems like she's fed up with the process anyway. She seemed irritated, you know, and like she didn't really want to be here. And again, when talking with Sabrina, Phil will get all the right answers. And because as I said, Sabrina is, I call it the female Phil. Like she's a charmer. She can get along and sit down with any group, but does she truly have substance? I don't really know. I can't say. And as far as like talking to Tina, Phil tried to kind of corner Tina in ranking Donovan. That's normally a trend of what the female cast members like. Is that your number one or your number two or your top? But Tina wouldn't do it. But Phil was like, "Oh, I'm just playing." But he was for real. He wanted Tina to rank Donovan, but Tina had to go. I guess she had to find a babysitter or whatever. Who knows? She had to go, and Sabrina left as well. And they discuss about like overall who would be the better pick. And Phil pretty much said Sabrina would be the better pick for him, even though both ladies were nice and beautiful and all that. But it is going to be a concern that Sabrina wants children, and Donovan pretty much doesn't want children because he's saying he has like two grown children. Let's say a 16-year-old and 11-year-old daughter. So him having a baby, it's probably not. And I do know why. But a lot of times people who don't want to have children won't never come out and say, you know what, I'm done with having children. Most won't, because I feel like they know they're limiting their chances with other people, because usually people want to fall in love and they want to get married. Somebody's going to want to have a child somewhere normally. So that's a concern. Sabrina's good for Donovan, but he definitely don't want to have no kids. But he in his confessional said he may consider it for his wife. Yeah, right. He don't want no kids. And that's okay to say. You'd be surprised. So we got P.O. Now, P.O., he's already met with Dakia, but he's actually went out on a first date, because Carmen even mentioned while they were there on their date that, hey, you never went out with Dakia? And I guess they're trying to create some kind of spark, because we're losing people so fast, and these connections are so weak and minimal on the show. We gotta create something. And Dakia was pretty much saying, like, on paper, Paul is cool. He would be a good candidate to be with her. However, he doesn't have that oomph, that whatever that drives her or makes her want to be with him. I guess like how she feels about Clifton. And the date didn't do anything different. We didn't see any sparks go on. And one thing we did learn, we keep learning about POJ. Now POJ he's saying that he's an artist that draws and makes it come to life. So he's like a cartoonist, a system analyst. He's a beat producer. He all of that. So the kid pretty much asked P.O. like, well, what type of traits or what are you looking for in a woman? He looking at her like, oh, I like them like 5'3", and and because a lady with long legs will be grabbing the covers with both legs, and I don't need that. Like, come on, PO, that was the best you can do, or say why you want a shorter lady because her legs grab the cover. Auntie the kid just need to go back to the kidney smash or something to try to gain a spark, because that ain't it. So I guess we doing the makeup thing, and Tori finally meets up with Ace, because he's just trying to find out like what happened or whatever. Because he invited her, he really took it personally. Like, man, you stood me up. I had my friend to meet you. Because you were important, and and they meet up at the bar. Baby Whale, and Baby Whale is like at the beginning of downtown, and it's like on Ninth Street, closer to, oh, okay, right across the street from the convention center. I'm trying to give you like some places. That's the place where we have like our annual car shows, where we had them from the beginning of time. And it's not that far from Florida and U Street. It's probably about five blocks down, more towards the center of downtown DC and closer to Chinatown. So uh, Baby Well is more like, it's just like really a pub or a bar that sells like American food, and it make it kind of creative and interesting. What I didn't like, or I thought it was weird, I don't know who the owners are, but if you see inside on the episode, you see these little posters up on there. Let's call it DC history, because we do have our own brand of music, which is go-go. And before the internet and all of that, that's how you knew when a new go-go was. It was a major or a good go-go. They would put it up on posters. They would tell you where the club at, what's the date, what's the time, and what bands are going to be there. So yeah, that was pre-internet days. So I guess that's why they put those in there. But the place didn't look like heavily decorated. Only if you were from DC could you appreciate that posters. But if I'm in there and we create ambiance in the restaurant, I want to see something more than that. But anyway, let me get off of that. As I said, Tori just wanted to know, like, why did Ace stand her up? And pretty much she came off like she was trying to, I don't know, smooth things over, but not really tell Tori about what happened. So she gives her like dissertation and talking about, well, by me not showing up doesn't take away from the wonderfulness of Tori and the light in which is being. And so when a man wants a woman, you can see within his aura that he is willing and dying to be with her. And just pretty much saying, okay, it seems like you're into Sabrina, so I don't feel like I'm wanted, and I feel like you're just picking me just to stay on the show or whatever, because we really don't have a connection. And instead of just telling her that, she had to go into this love and light speech or whatever. I never liked Ace, and I don't mean like I didn't like her for the show, because to me she didn't contribute anything. She didn't really have true connections. And Ace pretty much told Tori, like, my only true connection was Laverne. Now he's gone, so there's no need to waste your time. But that doesn't excuse that she didn't call or text that, like, hey, I'm going to be there. But people are different. People will ghost you or whatever, so that don't matter. And Ace also let Tori know that, hey, I'm romantically involved with somebody else. Allegedly, even though I stay off people's interviews and all that extra stuff I take on the show, but allegedly it's Tyrone from the previous season. Like I said, this ain't nothing but Ready to Love, DC, the B Team, or Rejects, for real. They keep trying to say it's Potomac. Everything place I'm telling you or talking about is nowhere near no Potomac, Maryland. But let's keep on going. There are millions of sexy singles in the city of Potomac with a population of 45,000. All right, I can't help but saying that. I don't like people playing my intelligence. So Tori said as a confessional, like, he's bothered by Ace being gone or whatever, or self-eliminating because there's nothing there for her, but he's not going to beg her. But in real life, he was really begging her and trying to convince her that she should stay. And she wasn't feeling nothing he was saying. But Tori is never aware, or he can never read the room. That's how he can comfortably say, he can talk about shifting your organs and look you in the face while doing it, knowing that you're cringing and uncomfortable. So we get to the men, all the dates are done. We get to the men deliberations. And before they went in, and this is something for me, because on my live, I introduced y'all to my first pet snake, Jake the snake. They showed a snake climbing out the water in the river. See, everybody getting comfortable with snakes. I'm gonna bring y'all in too. It's the new thing. It's the new dog. uh, so uh, Tommy, he go right in. He go right in like on PO, because PO still had that wrinkled shirt, and PO tells him, yeah, today I'm looking good because you went in on me, Tommy, but you was talking at the last time. That's the same thing he told me. It was all fun and jokes. It wasn't no serious thing. So they was just going over, I guess, their dates or whatever. And Donovan said Phil was, he thought Sydney was a good catch, and they both Tina and I said Sydney. What am I talking about, Sydney? I said Tommy asked if Phil was still with Sydney, and then Tommy tried to take credit with that. As far as I heard on the YouTube streets, Phil and Sydney aren't together, and if you ask me, they never were together. Phil was the only one that was committed. But anyway, Phil said that Tina and Sabrina were very attractive, but Sabrina was really the one. So as far as on Demetrius' date, I feel like I skipped that one. I might have skipped that one because it was that boring. So let me just slightly cover it. On Demetrius' meet with Sabrina, friend, it was like kind of an issue where Sabrina kind of got her aha moment with Demetrius, because he's so mysterious. She doesn't know like where he stands, and we find out that Demetrius wants a submissive woman, and that's the exact opposite of what Sabrina is. And not only that, she just got out of a divorce, so she's looking for her freedom. So they're not really clicking up. So I don't really think that their vibe is going to be strong at all. But according to Demetrius, the date was well, the vibe was strong. His friends said they were perfect together. I don't know what they was looking at, but okay, we going to find out if Demetrius is still in the game, because Sabrina keeps options in her pocket. She can always have Donovan, Tori, or whatever. So we'll see how that go. So Clifton said his friend said that, both of the ladies are nice or whatever, but Joy is the one, and they could really see them. He could really see them together. So PO was saying that that Chill Bill, his friend, was saying Carmen is for POJ, his new alter ego, and Tommy was thrown off like POJ or whatever. What's going on with that? Like, he was just saying like that was just his alter ego or from back in the day, and that Auntie the Kid was good for Paul. And to sift through all of that, I thought Tommy did a good job for once in giving advice and saying pretty much, well, in real life, both of those people are you. Find the woman that can work with both, because neither one of them ain't going nowhere. PO, POJ, Paul, whatever. Find a lady who like all three of y'all. So Tori said that his friend really enjoyed Sabrina, but he did add that Ace kind of stood the situation up, stood him up on the date. And Tommy was like, she ain't called, she ain't text. And he was like, yeah, my friend was bothered. Like, Tommy's like, yeah, I'm bothered by it too. And I do understand that some people really value their time, in which they should. And I'm one of them. You can send some communication out. But he also let Tommy know, which was weird because they're taping. I don't know if I believe this. Drop down in the comments and tell me what you believe. Tommy had no idea Ace self-eliminated with Tori. And, Tommy, he was getting on his ego like, she self-eliminated with you? And she ain't tell me? And he looked around the table. Hey, fellas, if this happens, please give me a call and let me know. If somebody else self-eliminates, because the show is falling apart. Nobody wants to be on it. Nobody has the patience. They all done. And, that it just got like kind of the weird energy. Like the guys didn't really know who they wanted to eliminate because they just pretty much was naming everybody for all kind of different reasons. And then Tommy was saying, like, you know what? You guys are like struggling. I think you need more time. No eliminations today. And I think that has a lot to do with self-eliminating. You figure Eric, he's self-eliminated, and then Ace self-eliminated. So you got to kind of balance things out, and we just need to wait. So pretty much that was the end of the show, and pretty much on the next episode, without the eliminations, they're going on their little couples resort or whatever for 2 days, and it's gonna be drama filled because you always on a trip it always get drama filled because it's like everybody staying under the same roof. And then a peak of a drama we saw, Cliff and Joy look like they cohabitating on a couples trip, and of course Auntie the kid is bothered by that because that's really drawing a line in the sand. Like, we're together, and pretty much what are you here for? So pretty much that was it. As I tell y'all, get down in those comments. Tell me what you think. I might have missed something else besides Demetrius' date or whatever. Fill in the blanks or just give me your thoughts. And as always, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, showing all the love and support. It's overwhelming and has exceeded my expectations. And as always, y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.